Welcome back, everybody, to the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise here on Madden 21 for the PS5. Today, we have the AFC Championship game against the Cincinnati Bengals, a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. In that matchup, the Bengals ended up defeating us 28-24 en route to losing the Super Bowl against the New York Giants. Well, we look to get revenge today. This time it is on our home turf. The Bengals are not as stout as they were a year ago, and I think we are the favorites going into this game. We beat the Colts last week in the divisional round 28-20. We did not look great down the stretch of that game, but we were definitely the better team. And as we look at the playoff bracket, only 4 teams remain. Obviously, us and the Bengals in the AFC, and the Packers and Bears in the NFC. The Bengals beat the Kansas City Chiefs last week 35-29 despite a 4-touchdown effort from Patrick Mahomes. The Bengals are led by the dynamic duo of Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon. Mixon is the reason why they won this game. 19 carries, 169 yards, and 3 touchdowns. As you may notice, Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman both played very well for the Chiefs, so this tells me that maybe the Bengals really struggle against speed receivers, and that bodes well for us because we have Casey Shock, who's very fast, DJ Chark is very fast, and we even have other players such as RJ Ewell out of the backfield who have a lot of speed. These are the top 2 rushing offenses in the NFL. The Bengals do have an elite running back. We don't. We're more of a committee, but both of these teams know how to run the ball at a very high level. The Bengals defense is very average, middle of the pack in total yards per game, passing yards, rushing yards. They're pretty much just mediocre. As you can see, they will be without linebacker Jermaine Pratt this week, which is a fairly big loss. He is a somewhat key player. But this team starts and ends with this man, Joe Burrow, who's been outstanding in this series. This past season, 4,100 yards, 36 touchdowns, both of which are career highs, career low in interceptions as well. He did not play all that well against us early in the year. I know those stats aren't bad, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, but if you watch that game, you may remember that he did not play well. But the arguably even bigger task on our hands is stopping running back Joe Mixon, who played well against us earlier in the year. He scored 3 touchdowns despite only getting the ball 12 times, only 6 carries as well. I don't know why they rarely used him in that first matchup, but he had 14 touchdowns, 1,300 yards. He's really good. This Bengals team as a whole is very solid. We know these guys fairly well. We played them in the AFC Championship last year, and they're going to be a tough matchup. We are going to make a quick free agent signing for depth. Offensive tackle Jordan Mailata. We had to put J.B. Givens on IR last week after he broke his rib, so we needed some more offensive line depth because our offensive linemen seem to get hurt very often. Hopefully this team has what it takes to make their first Super Bowl in franchise history, but let's end the chatter, let's end the anticipation, let's get to the football game. The 2024 AFC Championship here in Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida, as the 11-5 Jaguars, coming off a nice divisional round victory a week ago against Rodney Allen and the Colts, will be taking on the reigning AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals, led by quarterback Joe Burrow and running back Joe Mixon. The winner of this game will represent the AFC in Super Bowl 58, and they will take on either the Green Bay Packers or the Chicago Bears. The Bengals will be starting on offense. First play from scrimmage, Burrow's going to look to throw it. He's going to go up the middle, a nice pass into the hands of James Washington, the former Steeler, who's been a very solid player in Cincinnati. The receiving trio of Washington, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd is one of the better ones in the NFL, especially with Mark Andrews at tight end, who's really good. From the 46, that pass is tipped and intercepted. Rashawn Babineau with the INT. He will take it to the house for a Jacksonville pick 6. And not even a minute into the game, the Jaguars are on the scoreboard. What a great defensive play. That's the first interception all season by a linebacker. I know Rashawn Babineau is listed as a strong safety, but I'm counting him as a linebacker because that's all he plays. Miles Jack with the QB hit on that play to force Burrow to have a weaker pass, and Babineau did the rest. So not a great start for Joe Burrow and company. They're going to try to pick it up. Nice 10-yard gain for T. Higgins, who is a free agent at the end of the season. I think he was on the trade block at one point, so I don't know if the Bengals are going to bring him back, but he's a really good player. Joe Mixon loses 4 on the screen, wrapped up by Brian Burns, who had a nice game a week ago. Burns was outstanding the first half of the season for Jacksonville. In the second half, he really tapered off, but he played well against the Indianapolis Colts, and hopefully he can have another good game here. 3rd and 6. Burrow, short pass for Mixon, and he is pounded. What a start for Rashawn Babineau, getting the pick 6 on the first drive, jarring the ball out on that drive. And now the Jaguar offense will get their first possession in the game. An early 3rd and 2. It's David Njoku with the first down. Njoku's had a really underrated season, 880 yards. I think he finished with 8 touchdowns as well. He's an impending free agent and has trouble staying on the field, but when he's on, he's really good. Nice catch for Zeke Bowman, who had a good game a week ago. Bowman always plays at his best in the playoffs. Even this year, where there aren't any major injuries to the skill position guys, he's still stepped up. R.J. Ewell now with a nice run to the 36. Ewell scored 2 early touchdowns last week. Didn't really do all that much as the game went on, but he started the game off super strong. Now from the 36, following play, Ewell in motion. Koko Onwosu, the second-year quarterback out of Michigan State, is all alone in the backfield as Onwosu, short pass for DJ Chark. Chark with a first down, tries to hurdle the defender. He is unsuccessful, but he does bring it to the 15. Nice gain for Chark, who's been outstanding since his injury earlier in the season. Now at the 13, 2nd and 8. It's a handoff for J.K. all day. J.K. Dobbins with the score. He has also played very well since his injury. And even though Dobbins is not the most important player on this team, it seems like the Jags play better when he is healthy. So the Jaguars with a quick 14-0 lead, making an early statement here in the AFC Championship. That pass was right in the hands of Zaire Wiggins. Wiggins rarely drops interceptions. He had 12 this year and has some of the best hands for any defensive back in the NFL. That could have been a pick 6. Instead, the Bengals on the following play will barely get the first down, but they do. A 2-yard gain for Joe Mixon, his first carry of the entire day. Are the Bengals going to do what they did earlier in the year against Jacksonville and not give Mixon the ball? That would be dumb, because when he has the ball, he is a menace. Was not a menace on that play. He goes backwards, losing a yard. Rashawn Babineau again, who has been incredible so far in this first quarter. Babineau was fairly disappointing this year, but he has looked like a machine today. 3rd and 10. Burrow is sacked by Brian Burns, and the Jaguars get the stop. Big play for Burns, and Jacksonville is dominating with just over 30 seconds left in the first quarter. This is not even a contest so far. R.J. Ewell jukes past the defensive back, brings it to the 47-yard line, hit very hard by one of the defensive linemen. Now on to the second quarter. It has been all Jacksonville so far. They lead at 14-0. 3rd and 1. Dobbins is unable to get the ball in bounds. So now it's 4th and 1. The punting unit is out, which is interesting. And Jacksonville is elected to fake the punt. Amaya with a deep shot for Bob Adams, and it's dropped. Adams had that right in his hands. Bob Adams also has very good hands for a defensive back. Brian Amaya Jr. with a dot, by the way. Jacksonville is stopped. The Jags cannot be getting cute. I know they've played really well today, but they're only up by 14. That fake punt could really haunt them. Nice play out of bounds by Mark Andrews. We know the Jags have struggled against tight ends all year, and Mark Andrews is one of the best in the business. 3rd and 11 now from the 34. Burrow, short throw for Washington. Nice tackle by C.J. Henderson to prevent him from getting the first down. So the Jags get the stop. It's Justin Rothhauser on for a 44-yard field goal to try to finally put the Cincinnati Bengals on the board. And he is successful. So Cincy makes the kick, and it is now 14-3. Remains a 2-score game. Still, the Bengals are not in a good position at the moment, but they are starting to play a little bit better. 3rd and 1. Dobbins with the handoff. That is awfully close. They will give him the first down. Logan Wilson made a really nice play, but Dobbins was able to muscle those yards to keep the possession going. Following play, it's a fake jet sweep. Koko goes short for shock. He probably should have just tried to run out of bounds. Otherwise, it would have been 2nd and 10. Then it became 2nd and 12. Now 3rd and 4. 4:20 left to go. 4:20 blaze it here in the first half. Koko Onwosu looking to throw it. Tries to get it to... It looked like Simba Azikiwe, but the pass is incomplete. Azikiwe is in the game for David Njoku, who did get injured earlier on the drive. So the Jaguars will actually punt it this time, and it looks like a really good punt from Brian Amaya Jr., and it will be down inside the 5 by Bob Adams. So both Amaya and Adams make up for the last play, the fake punt, although the fake punt wasn't really Brian Amaya's fault. That was more so Bob Adams dropping the pass. So the Bengals have it back. It does not look like they will get safetied as Joe Mixon brings it out to the 35-yard line. Now the 2-minute warning. Can Cincinnati score before halftime? Burrow hit hard by Josh Allen, who is a free agent in the offseason. He gets it to James Washington for a nice gain. Now at the 42-yard line, 2nd and 4. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts. Burrow will look to throw it. He has time. Short pass for Mark Andrews. Gets by Julius Williams and is wrapped up by the rookie Bob Adams at the 23-yard line. The Bengals are really starting to figure it out now. Mark Andrews with 6 catches here in the first half. Jacksonville cannot cover him, nor can they really cover any tight ends. Following play up the middle for T. Higgins. He is in for a Cincinnati touchdown. And the Bengals make this game a little bit closer. It's now within 4 points. Big score for T. Higgins. Cincinnati with 10 unanswered after Jacksonville started up 14-0. The Jags do have a minute. That should be enough time to drive down the field and try to score. Nice play by Daniel Romer to bring him to the 39, getting out of bounds. But Brandon Linder is hurt on the play. If he is out for a while, that'll mean Jacksonville is without 3 starting offensive linemen going forward, with Orlando Brown and J.B. Givens both already on IR. 2nd and 3, there's DJ Chark with a nice play. Probably should have tried to go out of bounds, but he still gets it to the 37. It looks like the Jags are in field goal range. 3rd and 10 now. Jacksonville still has both timeouts. Koko Nwosu misses the throw for Romer, and it looks like they're going to try the field goal. The 54-yard attempt for the former Bengal, Volker Gantz, who was Cincinnati's kicker a year ago, and his kick is short. The Bengals' return man, Jontre Franklin, will just go in the back of the end zone since Cincinnati can start at the 44-yard line, I believe. Volker Gantz was signed to make those long kicks, and he's been surprisingly accurate this year, but he's not been good with the distance kicks. Here's a screen for Joe Mixon. He is wrapped up at the 40-yard line, so Cincy can either lob up a Hail Mary, go for a super quick pass, or kick the field goal, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. A 57-yard attempt for Walthauser. Casey Schock back deep to return, but it looks like he will not get a chance to take it out. Walthauser's kick is no good, wide right. And that'll do it for the first half. We've got ourselves a good one. 14-10 your score. The Jaguars currently on top, and Jacksonville does start the second half with the ball, but the Jags offense is not looking good at the moment after a really strong start to this game. The first quarter, Jacksonville dominated. They looked unstoppable, but the Bengals have really picked it up here as this game has gone along, and it looks like this game is going to be very competitive. Of course, here's the playoff bracket. This is the first game of the Conference Championship Sunday. The second game, of course, in Green Bay. One of the most famous and old rivalries in the NFL, battling it out for a spot in the Super Bowl, the Packers and Bears. 3rd and 9, a really risky throw by Koko, and it's caught by Chark. That was ballsy. That should not have worked, but it did. The Jaguars are very lucky. 3rd and 8 now from the 48. Koko with another risky throw, and it's caught by Zeke Bowman at the 41. So Koko's trying to get gutsy here, and hey, it's working. Following play, Nwosu, short throw for an open man. It's Simba Azikiwe, the second-year man out of Duke, who gets around 20 yards. I'm curious to see how Azikiwe will play the rest of this game with no David Njoku. Njoku's status for the Super Bowl is questioned if Jacksonville were to win today. Von Miller brings down Koko, so it looks like Jacksonville's going to have to send the field goal unit out. This could be the last hurrah for Von Miller as he tries to win a second Super Bowl ring. Had the one in Denver in which he won Super Bowl MVP. Wasn't able to win one last year for the Bengals, but I'm sure he'd like to get one this season. Volker Gantz does make the field goal from 47 yards out. That one was a little bit to the left, but it did go in. So it is now 17-10. Bengals have it back. Joe Burrow dropping back to throw it, and he is sacked. David Harris brings down the QB. Harris had a safety, I believe, last time these two teams played. For what it's worth, Jacksonville won that game by 2. So good to see Harris making another play here. 3rd and 12 now from the 26. Burrow, the former Heisman Trophy winner, gets it to Mixon with a nice spin move past Zaire Wiggins, but he does not get the first down. The two rookies, Bob Adams and Josh Jordan Jr., are there with the play. Usually Zaire Wiggins makes those tacklers. He's a really good tackler, really underrated aspect of his game because Wiggins is so good at everything else. You don't think of him as a tackler, but he is very good there. Nice run of 18 yards for Casey Schock. I wish the Jaguars got Casey Schock a little bit more involved in the run game with plays like that because we know he's dangerous with the ball in his hands. 3rd and 10, trying to get it to Chark, but the ball is jarred out by, it looked like Damon Arnett, the former Jacksonville Jaguar. So the Jaguars will have to punt it again. It looks like another really good kick by Brian Amaya Jr. Rolling inside the 5. Bob Adams misses it, but it stops at the 1. What a punt for Brian Amaya. 2 punts inside the 5 today. He has been incredible in this game. Bengals have it back. Joe Mixon nearly gets safetied. Instead, he'll gain around 15 yards. So it looks like the Bengals will not have to worry about the possibility of getting safetied because they are no longer super close to their own end zone. 2nd and 9 from the 32, minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Joe Mixon, great blocking there from the left side of the Bengals offensive line. He gets 13 yards. Big drive here for Mixon. He had like 22 yards going into the possession. Now he's at 67. The Bengals are only really running it on this drive, and it's working. Credit to him. 2nd and 6, short throw for Tyler Boyd, who gets hit pretty hard by Josh Jackson. Boyd does get the first down. Boyd has been pretty quiet today, mainly because he's been covered by Zaire Wiggins. That should tell you the full story. Down to 15 seconds left in the quarter. It's James Washington to the 21-yard line, and that will do it for the third quarter. The Jaguars are technically 1 quarter away from advancing their first Super Bowl in franchise history, but this game is far from over. The Jags are only up by 7, and the Bengals have it very close to the end zone at the 21-yard line. 2nd and 10 for Cincinnati. Burrow looking to throw it, hit hard, and he will complete the pass. Cincinnati gets it to the 3-yard line. The Bengals are getting awfully close to the end zone. That was Floyd who was able to get that reception. Under 9 minutes to go now. 1st and goal. Can Cincinnati tie it up right here? Burrow back to T. Higgins. His 2nd receiving touchdown of the afternoon. And we are tied at 17. The Bengals with a big 99-yard drive. They started at the 1, but they were able to move down the field and tie this one up. So the Jags have it back on offense. The offense has only scored 10 points today. Remember, the 1 touchdown was off the pick 6. J.K. Dobbins loses 3 on that play. Not a particularly great start to the possession. That'll bring us to a big 3rd and 13. If Cincinnati stops, they'll get so much momentum, and they do not get the stop. It's DJ Chark for a gain of 25. Massive conversion for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They needed that one, and they were able to get it. 2nd and 9, now at the 49. Dobbins with the handoff, breaking tackles. What a nice run by J.K. Dobbins to get the first down, gaining around 10 yards. And Jacksonville's offense now appears to be in a little bit of a groove with under 7 minutes to go. Coco has to get rid of it quickly, but he does get it to Daniel Romer for a gain of 14. That could have been a big sack for Cincinnati, but a really nice play by Coco and Nwosu to get the ball out. Now at the 25, Nwosu back to Chark. Inside the 5, he gets pushed out at the 1. Big gain for DJ Chark, who has been outstanding here in the AFC Championship. He has definitely been the Jaguars' best receiver today. Casey Shock has done virtually nothing. Following play, it's Chark for the touchdown, and the Jaguars are right back on top with 5:42 left to go. A big score for DJ Chark. Nice throw by Coco, and it is now 24-17. Can the Bengals drive down the field and tie the game up once again? Burrow on 1st down under a lot of pressure. Heaves up a prayer downfield. Tipped by Henderson. Bonks off of Miles Jack's helmet twice. I don't know how Miles Jack didn't get that interception. The ball fell right in his lap. A wasted opportunity there for the Jaguars, and Cincinnati gets to live to see another day. Had Miles Jack gotten that interception, it pretty much would have been game over. Big sack for Brian Burns, his 2nd of the game. Unfortunately, Kayvon Chason got injured. He did not have to go to the locker room, and he should be fine to return later in the game if there's enough time. 3rd and 18, Cincinnati gets 19 with a big play for James Washington, who's nearing 100 yards on the day. Massive conversion for Washington, probably the biggest play of the game so far for Cincinnati, and with under 5 minutes to go, they have new life. 1st down, Burrow, short throw for Joe Mixon, wrapped up just in front of the 50 by Zaire Wiggins. The Bengals' offense is looking fairly solid these past few plays, but this clock is continuing to tick. Under 4 minutes to go now, 2nd and 2. Burrow looking to throw it, has time, going to try to scramble with it. Short pass is going to be caught by T. Higgins, who is wrapped up at the 26-yard line by Jordan. Cincinnati is getting awfully close to this end zone right now. They are really moving it. Following play from the 26, 3:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Jacksonville up by 7. Burrow with a deep shot, and it's intercepted! What a play by the rookie, Josh Jordan Jr., the first rounder out of Penn State, and Jacksonville forces the turnover. An incredible play. Coach Eric Bieniemy is fired up as he pumps up his young player, Josh Jordan Jr., one of the youngest players on this team. May have one of the biggest plays of the season. We got to look at this one again. James Washington had that in his hands, but Jordan tipped it, caught it with one hand. A massive interception. We got to look at this beauty again. Outstanding hand-eye coordination on that play by Josh Jordan Jr., and the Jaguars can try to chew clock and potentially end the game. First down, handoff for Dobbins. He loses 2. A big tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe that was DJ Reader, the big D tackle. 3rd and 9 now, under 2.5 to go. Koko Onwosu is wrapped down by Dalvin Tomlinson. And the Bengals with a gigantic 3rd down stop. So Cincinnati will get it back here. 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Jags lead by 7. Their defense needs to get this stop. If the Bengals score a touchdown, we're probably going into overtime. If not, then this game is done. Burrow on first down is sacked. It looked like that was Marcel Stokely, the rookie out of Minnesota, with the play. Bengals are forced to call a timeout as offensive lineman Eric Flowers is injured. So that'll lead to a 2nd and 20. Cincinnati needs 86 yards here in a minute 45 with 2 timeouts. That's a very tall task. Short throw for Higgins does not get much. Nice tackle by Bob Adams. And the Bengals quickly call timeout number 2. They are not trying to waste these timeouts. They are trying to make the most of them early on this possession. 3rd and 13 now for Cincinnati. They have to get a conversion or at least get close, and they do. James Washington makes it a 4th and 4. So this is it. If the Bengals don't get it, it's game over. That's close, but they do get it. Joe Mixon with outstanding footwork, not only able to keep the feet in bounds, but was able to pass the first down marker, and Cincinnati again lives to see another day. Clock stops, by the way, since Mixon did go out of bounds. Burrow, short pass for Mixon, and it's fumbled! Rashawn Babineau forces it out. It's picked up by Brian Burns, and that might do it. If the play stands, Jacksonville's going to win. We got to look at this one again. I don't think that's going to be a fumble. I think Joe Mixon was down. The booth will review it. So the Bengals season hands on this call. And as you can see, it looks like Mixon is down and the ball comes out by contact. The play would be reversed and the Bengals again still have life. The Bengals are like a cat. They have 9 lives. You cannot get rid of these pesky fools. Following play, Joe Mixon brings it to the 42-yard line. Cincinnati going quick back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10, 40 seconds to go now from the 42. This is one of the strangest drives you'll ever see. Flag on the play as Burrow scrambles. He's going to try to run with it. Joe Burrow with the first down, and he gets popped by Julius Williams. What a hit. Joe Burrow is down, and it'll be a holding call on the Bengals. So not only do they move backwards, but Joe Burrow is now injured. The Bengals do not have to use an injury timeout for what it's worth, but look at this hit again. It looked like he was going for the legs. That, you could argue, was a dirty hit by Julius Williams. I'm surprised they did not call some sort of unnecessary roughness penalty. Burrow did not try to slide, though. I don't know why he kept going. So Lawrence Cross, the second-year pro out of Arizona, is now in at quarterback for the Bengals as the short pass is a success, 16 yards for Tyler Boyd. Now it's 3rd and 4 with 24 seconds to go. Still no Burrow in the game. It's still Lawrence Cross as Cross looking to throw it, and his pass is broken up by Miles Jack. Boyd the intended target. So now it's 4th and 4 at the 36. 20 seconds to go. Can Cincinnati still hang on? They have to get this conversion, otherwise the game is over. Cross joined by Mixon in the backfield, looking to throw it. The pass for Mixon is incomplete. The Jaguars get the stop. Koko Onwosu is on for the kneel down, and that will do it. Despite a very tough fight from the Cincinnati Bengals in a game that lasted all the way to the end, the Jacksonville Jaguars, for the first time in franchise history, are going to the Super Bowl, baby. Jacksonville is Super Bowl bound. I don't think Jaguars fans ever expected to hear that anytime soon, but this team has done it. A gutsy performance here in the AFC Championship from both sides. But the AFC is a new champion, and the Bengals will not be returning to the big game. Quite a game today. We really played well early, but Cincinnati made it competitive late, and it was down to the finish. Joe Burrow was solid, 33 of 40, 338, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. His injury was not serious. Had Cincinnati somehow won, he would have been able to play in the Super Bowl. Koko Nwosu was solid. He did not have to do a whole lot, but he wasn't bad either. He didn't really make any mistakes. Joe Mixon was solid. J.K. Dobbins was pretty good. R.J. Ewell got banged up. R.J. Ewell will be fine for the Super Bowl, but he did not play much of the second half. Mixon, Washington, and Higgins all had good games for the Bengals. Our top receiver was DJ Chark. He was really good. Casey Shock, though, 2 catches for 5 yards. He did nothing. Our pass rush was really good. Brian Burns had 2 sacks. Marcel Stokely had a big one in the fourth quarter. David Harris had one. And then, of course, probably the 2 biggest plays of the game were the 2 interceptions. The pick 6 by Babineau and potentially the icing on the cake at the end by Josh Jordan. Unfortunately, we will be without Brandon Linder in the Super Bowl, the longest tenured player on this team, I'm pretty sure. One of the team captains as well. That's very disappointing. But now it's time to see who will we be playing in the Super Bowl. And look at that. The Green Bay Packers have defeated the Chicago Bears 35-21. So when it's all said and done, the 2 number 1 seeds, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have never made the Super Bowl, taking on the Packers, who have more NFL championships than anyone. Here are the Pro Bowl rosters. We do not have anyone in the Pro Bowl since we are in the Super Bowl. 4 former Westlake Hornets, none on offense. On defense, we've got Octavius October at defensive tackle of the Chargers. Linebacker Lewis Kahn representing the Giants. He's a 95 overall. Rookie, strong safety, Jock Valone of the Arizona Cardinals. That's pretty cool. And then Mac Terry, the Lions kick returner. Mac Terry isn't overly athletic. I don't know why he's returning kicks. That's neither here nor there. The guys who would have played in the Pro Bowl, had we not won, would have been Koko Nwosu, Casey Shock, Bentley Vander Walson, Brandon Linder, who would have been injured, but he still made it. We also had Zaire Wiggins, who won Defensive Back of the Year as well. I believe Josh Allen ended up making it. Yes, he did. Kaylavon Chason made the Pro Bowl for the first time in his career, and both of our special teamers, Volker Gantz and Brian Amaya Jr., all made it. So I believe that is 9 Pro Bowlers, 4 on offense, 3 on defense, 2 on special teams. Rashawn Babineau wins AFC Defense Player of the Week for what it's worth. He was well-deserved. He was outstanding. So we simulate to the Super Bowl the Green Bay Packers, led by 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who threw 4 touchdowns in the NFC Championship against the Chicago Bears. Marcus Mariota had a good game for Chicago as well. He's their quarterback. The Packers are obviously led by their offense. They had 3,000-yard receivers in Devontae Adams, Devin Funches, and I believe Kendrick Bourne. And they have a lot of these similar players that were already on the squad. This team has not changed a whole lot from what it was in real life. So that'll end today's episode. Next time will be the Super Bowl, premiering probably later this week, maybe Friday or Saturday. Hope you guys are excited. Jaguars, Packers, should be a fun one. I'm out. Peace.